Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to do a trailer breakdown for Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, set to premiere on Netflix on May 21st. Now, for those people that don't know the background of this film, this was the film that after the whole debacle after Justice League and the whole thing with Warner Brothers, Zack Snyder left, or I shouldn't say left. Warner Brothers basically kicked him out, fired him. They used an excuse and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to go into it. But basically, he left, and then Netflix immediately contacted him and said they wanted to make a movie with him at the helm, and he pitched this film. Now, I believe at the time they stated that he had actually had either the idea or a spec script for this for a number of years before they actually decided to put it into production. But this was kind of a passion project for him, so I'm actually kind of curious about that. Also, interestingly enough, this is the first of Zack Snyder's films where he is going to actually be credited as the cinematographer, which means I'm assuming he's taking sole duty of that, or mostly sole duty of it. So that should be interesting, and especially given some of the shots in the trailer too, because some of the shots in the trailer are the cinematography of it is absolutely beautiful. But going into the actual trailer. We start off with this music that, again, like most trailers, whenever they do this, the music ramps up over the course of the trailer, but it feels almost like it's kind of like an operatic kind of tone to it. It's very interesting. But again, it ramps up near the end until you get to the cutoff. But it's kind of goofy over what you're seeing on screen. You're seeing, Dave Bautista blasting zombies and stuff. So it's a little bit interesting to hear, and it's kind of comedic, and I like that. I like it when a lot of movies can play tongue in cheek. It reminds me a lot of the '80s. And after we get past you have the little musical score at the beginning, you have Zack Snyder's name and all that stuff that pops up, and then you get into really the visuals of the trailer. The first visual we get of the trailer is actually of the Vegas Strip, and it's just this wide shot, and we just see it's a sea of zombies, and all the buildings are destroyed and stuff like that. So that was very interesting to see right off the bat. I like the design they've done for it, where it's not terribly far in the future, I would imagine, from when this actual outbreak and everything happened and when everybody started turning into zombies. So you know it seems like it's still, you can still do stuff, and it's somewhat interesting. And then we go into there's actually kind of going to be a split too, because we during this trailer, and I think during the movie as well, they plan to kind of intersect the zombie apocalypse when it actually hit Las Vegas, all the people, getting eaten and shit like that. And then also the current story, or the present day story, of Dave Bautista and all these mercenaries going to rob this casino vault, which another interesting thing to kind of put in a zombie film, that I don't necessarily know if that's been done before, at least not as an entire film, maybe as like a subplot or something. But the idea that the zombies themselves are just kind of getting in the way of people actually committing a robbery. It's like Ocean's 11 meets Dawn of the Dead. It's an interesting idea. And you have this kind of motley crew of characters. Most of it, you really only get to see a couple of them in the trailer. Again, it's not that long. The trailer itself is only about a minute, but we get a couple of scenes with them. We get a lot of scenes actually where we see Dave Bautista front and center, and this other actor who looks like, I guess he's playing the tech nerd or something like that, something along those lines. He's not really a combatant. He's not dressed up in combat gear. He's kind of just in like a business casual like workwear, and he has like you can see that he has like little Walkman headset on. So again, not again, he seems like he's the tech guy, but I'm not 100% on that. And really, it's just kind of an intercutting of a lot of those shots that are they're not really necessarily related to one another in terms of where they are in the film. There are some of them where maybe you can kind of guess where they kind of lie, but for the most part, it could really be any part of the movie that any of these little snippets are coming from. You also get a scene where there's a last part of it where the nerdy tech guy is talking to this other soldier, not Dave Bautista, and basically that's heavy, bro, but I dig it. And it when they do that in that trailer, it's kind of like it's the subject of the film, which I think is kind of funny, where he's saying like it's heavy, the idea like it's a heavy subject, like, oh, zombie apocalypse is a pretty heavy subject. Then he says, but I dig it. And it's like, okay, but you're happy it's a zombie apocalypse because you get to murder zombies. It's kind of like the I was going to say Left 4 Dead, but not, well, kind of Left 4 Dead, but Dead Rising too, something like that. In terms of it, I like games like that that have a little bit of games and films actually like that have a bit of a tongue-in-cheek attitude to how they approach something that would normally be a very morbid subject. Um, so we see that, and then we get these really kind of big set piece moments in this trailer, and there's a couple of them. There's three of them in particular. Two of them actually involve like an old like Huey helicopter. I guess the mercenaries fly in this helicopter that looks like it's literally out of 1965 Vietnam. It's this little, this Huey helicopter that's literally green and everything like that. Army surplus type shit. And there's a shot of it where it's flying in between these buildings, and then you see it kind of silhouetted against this big orange sun that's in the background. I really do like that shot. I like the shot that they have later on where it looks like, I think it's Caesar's Palace in the front of it, and you see the Zeus statue that's in the fountain. And as you go around to the front of it, then the building just like blows up. It's like being demolished or something. I thought that was a really neat shot with the framing of it. And then the last shot of the trailer, before they cut to the credits and stuff like that, is actually a shot of the Huey helicopter flying sideways down and over a building. Now, I'm not really 100% sure what the context of that scene is. It looks like they're in control of the helicopter, though. Which brings up a couple of questions of like, how do you fly a helicopter like that in the way that it's shown to be being flown in the trailer, or is that just a very side-heavy helicopter where it doesn't like flip over in the air if it's being launched off of something? So it raises a couple of questions, but again, something that's probably going to be explained in the film. It's probably just me overanalyzing something, but that's really about it for the trailer. There's not really much else. If you want to watch the trailer as usual, I'm going to link it below. But I want to know what you think. Are you excited for this movie? Do you think this is going to be a good thing for Zack Snyder to get out there? Again, this is a passion project of his. I know a lot of people are really hungry for the Snyder Cut 2 of Justice League, so this is probably going to be a good tide me over for a lot of Snyder fans. But are you excited for it? Are you not excited for it? Do you like the cast? Do you like the premise? Do you like anything about the movie? Put your thoughts in the comments below. As usual, I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe. And remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?